Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? Wait a second, do girls actually watch these sort of videos? Regular videos they might see, but GPU related videos? I don't know, you people let me know. Anyways, there's a big showdown happening today. Yesterday only we posted our video on the new Super Series cards, right? And in that video I got so many comments from you people asking me to review AMD's Radeon 7800 XT. 7800 XT is like super affordable guys, costs under 50,000 rupees and actually offers like impressive specs and configuration which include like VRAM up to 16 GB and plenty of decent features capable of even playing games with ray tracing. But how does it actually perform in real world compared to its competitor RTX 4070 or even the Super? That you people will get to know in this video. I'm like very excited to test out this new card from AMD guys. In fact, we actually haven't reviewed it in the recent times. So today you people will get to know complete details, benchmarks, gameplays and also comparison with its competitor. Let's get started. AMD's Radeon 7800 XT is a Navi 32 GPU based on 5nm TSMC process and RDNA 3.0 architecture. So first of all, let me quickly tell you the specs and configuration of this card. Like what can you expect over here for the price that you're paying? And to make it more easy for you people, I'll also directly compare it with the nearest competitor in the market, which is RTX 4070. You can even check out the specs side by side guys on the screen. First of all, Radeon 7800 XT offers up to 60 compute units, has 3840 GPU cores and around 60 ray tracing cores. And main thing you might ask is about the VRAM, right? 7800 XT offers up to 16 GB of GDDR6 memory with a speed of up to 19.5 Gbps and the memory bus width is 256 bit. Talking about the TGP, that is rated around 263 watt and has a boost clock frequency of up to 2430 MHz. Now if you compare it with the RTX 4070 which is in the similar price range, major thing you'll notice is the difference in the VRAM. 7800 XT offers 4 GB more VRAM guys, but only difference is 4070 offers slightly faster GDDR6 memory with up to 21 Gbps transfer speeds. But keeping all this aside, what really matters for a consumer is the real world performance and benchmarks, which we'll be doing in a moment. Before we do that, let me quickly talk about the test bench setup I'll be using today. So I directly went with the recent PC build configuration that I did on our channel, which is Intel's 14th gen platform guys, and the CPU we'll be using today is Intel's 14th gen i9 14900K. Pair that with Radeon 7800 XT with 16 gigs of VRAM, and with that I'll be using like 32 GB of DDR5 RAM clocked at 5200 MHz. For this sort of configuration, I would recommend you to go for like a 850 watt power supply. Now let's directly jump into the benchmarks and check out how does this card perform. You people know, right? 7800 XT was mainly designed for 1440p gaming, so we will be playing all the AAA title games at this resolution only, and above we won't even be touching 1080p resolution because see, when you're spending almost 50-60,000 rupees on a graphic card, I'm pretty sure you would like to play it higher resolutions only, right? 1440p and above. That is the reason I won't be touching 1080p. 1080p anyhow it will perform good only, you don't even need to test it. So the first game we'll be testing today is Cyberpunk 2077, and we'll be playing this test at different resolutions with ray tracing, with FSR and all these sort of presets. In this first clip, we are playing the game right now at 1440p resolution, and as you can see in the video, all the graphics have been pushed to maximum, which is like very high and ultra, and ray tracing is off right now. FSR is also disabled. We were getting an average of around 80-85 FPS guys, raw rasterization performance. Now that is what I'm talking about. 7800 XT definitely has some potential and can really push out good number of FPS even in Cyberpunk 2077 at higher resolutions like 1440p. Not just Cyberpunk, I've also played a couple of other titles like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man and also Last of Us. GPU is actually handling all of these games very well guys. We'll come there and switch the game in a moment. Right now let's also quickly enable ray tracing at the same 1440p resolution and maximum ultra graphics preset and see what happens. Is the 7800 XT capable of playing games with ray tracing? Okay, as you can see, ray tracing definitely puts a lot of load on the GPU, and right now we are getting an average of around 28 to 30 FPS guys. But not to worry, this is where AMD's FSR comes into play. FSR stands for Fidelity FX Super Resolution, and it greatly boosts your frame rate. Basically it's like an upscaling technology, and this particular game supports FSR 2.1 and it has like variety of profiles like quality, balanced performance, and right now we are setting it to balanced profile. So with ray tracing and FSR 2.1 set to balance, seconds, immediately we can see a huge boost in the FPS, almost double the performance improvement. So right now with these sort of settings, we were easily getting around like 55 to 60 FPS, making it very consistent and actually playable with ray tracing, guys. Not bad. AMD has definitely improved in their ray tracing performance compared to their previous 6000 series. But still, if you directly compare it with Nvidia's 4070, right, it is nowhere as close to in terms of ray tracing performance. So that was a whole scene at 1440p resolution. Now let's quickly bump up the resolution to 4K with the same graphic settings and see if it can actually handle it. And ray tracing obviously has been turned off, and FSR is also off right now in this clip. And on an average, we were getting around like 30 to 35 FPS, which is like alright, I would say. Game is definitely playable, gives you that cinematic sort of feel, but not buttery smooth sort of effect which we are actually used to. But not to worry, let's also quickly enable FSR 2.1, again setting it to balance, and see if it improves the situation. Not bad, look at this. Once we enable FSR 2.1, game is much more playable at 4K with a consistent 60 to 65 FPS. Almost 2x performance improvement is there with AMD's FSR technology, guys. So making it much more playable when you're especially playing this game on your 4K TV. Now moving on, let's also play some other games like Spider-Man Remastered, and we'll be testing this game also at 1440p and 4K resolutions. And in this first test, we're playing the game at 1440p, very high graphics, like maximum possible in the game, and ray tracing obviously has been turned off. And on an average, we were getting around like 170 to 180 FPS, triple digit FPS over here, guys, at 1440p maximum graphics. Now that is the kind of performance I'm talking about. 7800 XT definitely performs very well for this price point, and sometimes, as you can see in certain scenes, it was easily touching 200 FPS also. Alright, let's also quickly enable ray tracing in this game at the same 1440p resolution and very high settings, and see what kind of results we will get. Look at that, you're almost getting like 80-85 FPS with ray tracing also. Not bad, right? Definitely playable even without FSR in this particular game. Anyways, for your reference, let's also enable FSR with ray tracing at 1440p and check out the difference. Bam! Triple digit FPS, guys. Look at that, 120, 130 FPS with ray tracing at 1440p in Spider-Man. Now that is the kind of performance you can expect over here. And lastly, in the 4K test, we are playing this game at 4K, very high settings, and ray tracing again on. I've set the FSR also enabled at balanced profile, and we were still getting around 75 to 80 FPS. So far, gameplay benchmarks and testings definitely look interesting and quite promising for the 7800 XT. See, 7800 XT is a very well performing card, especially at 1440p resolution. You can play most of your AAA title games with very good results, as we've seen in this video, and you can even do a bit of 4K gaming as well, not to worry, with FSR 2.1 enabled. And in future, we are also getting like FSR 3.0 support right very soon. So once that drops out, you can definitely see much more improvements in the performance. But keeping that aside, I'm pretty sure you're confused between 7800 XT and 4070, right? Because both these cards are like very closely priced. So which one is the best for you? Strictly speaking, in terms of rasterization performance, right, 7800 XT is almost like 9 to 10% faster than the Nvidia's RTX 4070, guys. It has slightly higher VRAM. You're getting 16 GB VRAM, that too with wider memory bus width of 256-bit. Whereas you're only getting like 12 gigs of GDDR6X memory on the 4070 with 192-bit memory bus width. So that was definitely making the difference. And also, honestly speaking, guys, I would really prefer having higher VRAM than faster memory, because games these days, especially in 2024, are getting like very demanding. And if you're playing games like Last of Us or maybe like Assassin's Creed Mirage, or these sort of games, at any point of time they're consuming almost like 98-99% of GPU utilization, with the VRAM being almost like 10-11 GB occupied. So having like extra space up to 16 GB definitely makes it a bit of more future proof, I would say. Only difference that keeps a 4070 ahead is the ray tracing performance. Ray tracing performance is slightly more superior on the 4070 compared to the 7800 XT. There's almost like 25-30% difference in the performance. Also, 4070 is slightly a bit more efficient because that has a TGP and consumes power around like 200-205 watt, whereas this particular card consumes up to like 260 to 270 watts depending on the scenario. So what do you people think? Would you prefer having like higher VRAM, or would you prefer having like like better ray tracing performance. Now finally coming down to the price, as I've told you, Radeon 7800 XT is slightly a bit more affordable than the 4070 and is available for only around like 49,000 rupees in the Indian market, whereas 4070 is right now priced around like 52 to 53,000 rupees. I'll leave links to that in the description box below, you can check it out there. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video and got complete information. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more such awesome videos. And I'll see you all in my next one.